Excellency Dr. Bharat Jagdev, Vice President, Republic of Guyana, His Excellency Dr. Sultan Al Jaber, Special Envoy on Climate Change and COP28 President-designate UAE, Mr. Nitin Desai, Chairman TERI, Mrs. Vibha Dhawan, Director General TERI, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to one and all. It gives me pleasure to address this August gathering at the inaugural session of 22nd edition of World Sustainable Development Summit, the flagship event of TERI, which I had a good fortune to attend last year as well. I am happy to note, based on continuing last year's theme and discussion, the summit this year is premised on mainstreaming sustainable development and climate resilience for collective action, which I strongly feel can come at no better time when India assumed the G20 presidency. I am very happy that our COP28 designated president is here, and we feel that the climate action which is taken in COP, it will go progressively in the presidency of our Honorable President. Friends, at a time when the world is tackling the issue pertaining to climate action, environmental protection, and sustainable development, it is under the visionary leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji that India is emerging as an inspiration for countries across the globe, particularly on the fact that how economic development and conservation of environment can go hand in hand. Let me elaborate on that by first sharing of a good news with you all that the second batch of cheetah from South Africa were successfully introduced in Kuno National Park in Madhya Pradesh just 4 days ago on 18th February 2023. The vision of our Honorable Prime Minister of correcting the ecological wrong into ecological harmony is taking shape by being reflected on grassroots, where successful implementation of Project Cheetah is examples among many. Ladies and gentlemen, combating climate change, biodiversity loss, and land degradation transcend all political boundaries and hence a shared global challenge. Our multiple occasions, both at domestic and international stage, through evidence-based policy making and implementation, India has demonstrated that it has never been a part of problem, but it's contributing significantly to become a part of solution. The Union Budget 23-24 presented in Parliament earlier this month lays down the vision for green growth across multiple sectors, with underlying through being that all future growth in the country has to essentially be green, with the concept of green growth being a priority area in the Union Budget. It validates the fact that how sustainable development has been mainstreamed in Indian policy making process through visionary approach. India has already submitted its long-term low-emission development strategy document at COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh, which is premised on two major pillars of climate justice and sustainable lifestyle alongside principle of CBDRRC. With this, India has joined list of 58 countries who have submitted their new updated long-term low-carbon development strategy. Friends, not only at domestic level, but at international platform, particularly focusing on climate resilience, India has been turned out to be helpful by providing value additional inputs, especially to small island developing nations who are particularly vulnerable to rising sea levels. India has created and been nurturing the CDRI for coalition resilient infrastructure. It has been making concerned effort to engage various stakeholders and individuals to promote innovation and resilience in infrastructure. One such initiative is the DRI Connect, which will be a web-based platform for stakeholders engaged in infrastructure sector. The platform is advised to harness collective intelligence of coalition membership toward creation of new knowledge and actionable solutions to address challenges in resilient infrastructure and foster an environment to action-based learning and innovation on disaster resilience infrastructure. Building upon the announcement made at COP26 in the presence of Honorable Prime Minister, IRIS, or Infrastructure for Resilient Island State as a part of CDRI, has been in achieving sustainable development through a systematic approach to resilient, sustainable, and inclusive infrastructure for small island developing countries. The Voice of Global South Summit launched by Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, wherein countries of Global South found a platform to discuss the pressing concern of developing world, was yet another testimony of India's leadership, especially becoming the leading voice for Global South. The summit was a big success and saw participation of 134 countries distributed across 10 sessions. Let me come to the other aspect of sub-theme of the session, which focuses on the mainstreaming sustainable development in our national development trajectory. Ladies and gentlemen, with India taking over the G20 presidency, the discourse around sustainable development, especially in the UN critical decade of action, has caught the global attention. Living in harmony with nature has been traditionally in our ethos, and the same has been reflected by the mantra of life or lifestyle for environment coined by Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. The mantra, which focuses on nudging individual behavior toward leading a sustainable lifestyle, has received attention and appreciation by world leaders and leading experts across the globe, and has been included in cover decision text of Sharm el-Sheikh implementation plan as well as at COP27. One world mass movement, lifestyle for environment, to the global community, which has been reflected in our updated NDCs, is now significant in propagating a healthy and sustainable way of living based on tradition and value of conservation and moderation, which essentially has SDG 12 at its core on sustainable production and consumption. Friends, one of the key aspects in enabling sustainable development, circular economy, offers a new paradigm that emphasizes on the need to take a comprehensive view of products and processes. This leads to sustainable growth, which is the key to an Atmanirbhar Bharat. The government has been actively formulating policies and promoting projects to drive the country toward a circular economy. It already notified various rules, such as plastic waste management rules, e-waste management rules, construction and demolition waste management rules, metals recycling policy, etc. in this regard. The first Environment and Climate Sustainability Working Group meeting in G20, which was concluded in Bangalore few days ago, saw extensive deliberation on topic which had a sustainable development and climate resilience at its heart. The topic discussed during the 3-day discussion were: first, arresting land degradation, accelerating ecosystem restoration, and enriching biodiversity; second, promoting sustainable and climate resilient blue economy; third, encouraging resource efficiency and circular economy. Apart from the given topics, delegates from G20 countries also deliberated on accelerating climate actions, science and gaps, and role of mission life in further conservation of environment. Ladies and gentlemen, despite being the fastest growing economy in the world, India is taking great strides at democratic and international level in tackling the planetary crisis in form of climate change, biodiversity loss and pollution. As India nears the golden jubilee of Tiger Project, since last World Sustainable Development Summit, India under the able leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji has got 75 Ramsar wetland site, 33 elephant reserve, 53 tiger reserve, 12 blue flag beaches, successfully implemented single-use plastic ban, updated its NDCs, successfully reintroduced cheetahs from 2 countries, and demonstrated and bold leadership at COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh and CBD COP15 in Montreal. It is example like such which testifies the fact that India's development trajectory and policy-making process has mainstream sustainable development and climate resilience at its core. The World Sustainable Development Summit for last 2 decades has been successful in engaging all the stakeholders from public and private sector of life and has hence been forerunner in deliberating on subject of sustainable development. I would like to wish this summit all the success and would like to conclude by quoting our Honorable Prime Minister, who has very effectively summarized the idea of sustainable development. I quote, "Equitable energy access to the poor has been a cornerstone of our environmental policy. Indians have always lived in harmony with nature. Our culture, rituals, daily practices, and numerous harvest festivals demonstrate our strong bonds with the nature. Reduce, reuse, recycle, recover, redesign, and remanufacture have been part of India's culture ethos. India will continue to act for climate resilient policy and practices as we have always done." Thank you very much.